Hi friends, Andy Vegan. I make a juice today, and it's one of the most fascinating plants to make juices is beet. Here I have a beautiful, crunchy, fresh, crispy beetroot. It's a red beet, and I even have some of the greens um, attached to it. Let's see where I have it here. You can see some of the greens here, the stems here that grow out of the beetroot, some greens here. And it's very nice when you get the whole beet plant. You can use the greens too. Usually I use the roots, but sometimes I get a whole plant. And what I do is I cut the beets from the greens, cut the greens with the stems and the leaves into now, packageable size, pack it into a plastic bag and put it into the fridge, together with the beet in another bag. And so I don't need to throw away the greens. I can just juice them together with the beets. Juicing is for that very nice. You can use all parts of the fruit, of the veggie. You can all juice everything, what you couldn't do if you were to cook it or eat it raw. You wouldn't eat everything. The peel, for example, of many fruits, you wouldn't eat. You can juice it in many cases. Even if it's a little bitter, the peel is usually a little bitter, they have more nutrients. And you have to be careful with a lemon peel, for example, here. I wouldn't eat it. And sometimes I have a little snack, just a bite of the peel, but in a juice, I can use the peel. Sometimes, it depends on the other ingredients. If I have a lot of fruit today, I have apples and oranges, 2 cups each, about. It's not a precise measurement. I don't need that when I have a small number of ingredients. I don't need some precise measurements. The more ingredients you have, the more precise measurements you need, obviously, but with a small number. So about 2 cups of each and the same amount, 1 cup of beet. Then you have a ratio of 1 to 2 veggies and fruit. Veggies, usually, the carrot is an exception. Carrot doesn't need a fruit, but when it's a sweet carrot. So when you have bitter carrots that need some fruit. But when you have just a beet, you have some fruit. Otherwise, the beet doesn't taste well. I know there are some people who say otherwise, but yeah, you have to decide. To me, a beet needs some fruit to make it delicious. Otherwise, the beet scratches in the throat because the oxalates, it's not harmful, but it is unpleasant. 2 hours after drinking a pure beet juice, 20 minutes after drinking it, the scratching in the throat begins and you can't finish it. It takes 2 hours or so to go away, but it's not harmful, but it's unpleasant. So when you put something into the beet juice, like oranges or so, apples, pears especially, there's no scratching. So that's what's needed, for example, minimum. And then when you add fruit like sour sweet fruit, like apple and orange, to the beet, all of a sudden, all of the sugars hidden in the earth flavor of the beets. The beet is an earth flavor. That means it's dense, heavy, dark, strong. These earth flavors are packed with sugar. Beets, carrots, beets even more. And when you put the oranges and the apples or so together with the beet, all these sugars come out and produce the most fantastic flavors. That's what I'm exploring here with these juices, beet juices especially. You can make the most amazing flavors with beet, but you have to add something. So orange would be the neutral element. So when you juice a beet with an orange, you get a completely delicious earth flavor, a beet flavor. You taste the beet as it is. Yeah? It's delicious if you like it. I do. But when you add a mango, for example, to a beet, you don't taste the beet at all. It completely transforms into something new, a new, I would say, candy kid flavor, because that reminds me to my childhood when I loved the sweets, not healthy with sugar, but we didn't know that. But you get these kind of flavor, so delicious but healthy. Candy kid flavors. When beet with mango, try that. Mango beet juice. Wow, absolute stunning. So all these different ingredients that you add to the beet have a completely different character, and you can do something with it I never thought about before. So now I explore the beet flavors. So apples and orange, just to balance this strong wheat flavor and to open it up to let the sugars come out. And I add today 2 strong, very characteristic herbs. Both are from the mint family. The mint family, here's a 3 or 4 stems of mint, fresh mint. The mint family is from the Mediterranean, and this is another one from the mint family, basil, also a little bit more, maybe 3 or 4 or 5 stems, or 6 or so. You can use the stems both. Another example where juicing is easy, you can also use the stems of most of the herbs. You just juice them together and they have a strong energy. So it's good not to have to waste them. And the mint family has been cultivated for thousands of years. There is sage, thyme, marjoram, beet and basil and mint. They have all different effects. The mint is refreshing, fresh breath, fresh mouth, good smelling breath. That does mint. It's cooling in the summer. It's a perfect summer herb. The basil is wake up herb. Children get the stem of basil to chew on when they get tired at school. So give them a little bit of basil to chew on, just stems, and whoop, they wake up. There's something in the basil that makes the brain wake up. So all have different benefits, and they're used in medicine, therapies, and in everyday food, everyday life. We can use them in juices, in our food. Highly recommended. Herbs and spices are the second healthiest food we have. Dark leafy greens, then herbs and spices, then fruit. So we can use all these plants with a good knowledge, But when you like them, it tastes well, it's good for you. If it's not sugar or something like that, But whole food, plant-based diet, when you have whole food, just close to nature, it's always good when you like it, usually. So basil and mint are very characteristic flavors too. Yes, these herbs are so healthy because they are very concentrated, very powerful in a small amount. You don't need a lot of herbs, a lot of spices to make a big effect. Very dense, and that makes them so powerful. So flavor, very powerful. And I want to know today what happens when these 2 characteristic flavors of mint and basil, when they are combined with the beet. Let's see. And there are 2 more ingredients I oftentimes add, not so much to add a new flavor, just to boost the other flavors in the recipes. That is lemon, a whole lemon here, and a good amount of ginger root. This here boosts the other nutrients. With ginger, you can absorb many more nutrients from the other ingredients. With lemon, the other ingredients remain fresh. It's an antioxidant, and strong antioxidant. Both are very healthy. I always have lemon and ginger at home, and I like to add them. Ginger is the fire. The Indians would say ginger adds the fire that makes everything better digestible. Fire is for absorption, for digestion, and so that's the way they express it with the elements. Modern science doesn't talk about elements in that way. They have other elements, but the idea is very similar. And as I said, they boost the other flavors. The lemon, for example, is sour, we know, and when you add lemon to apple, for example, the sugar in the apple is, highlighted by contrast. So the apple tastes a little bit more like apple. When you add ginger to apple, you have another effect. All these things are fascinating, but basically they boost the other flavors. So let's try that now. Just 7 ingredients, and I could use some peel. I will tell you later if it works. Sometimes I have to be careful because, especially when I have greens, they're very strong. Lemon zest can be too powerful. But if I can use it, very good, because they're super healthy. So I start now the juicing and come back in a second. This is my beet juice. And let's try it, let's taste it. I used only half a lemon, or 3/4. I suddenly had the feeling maybe One whole lemon would be too much, as I had in other recipes before. Lemon is sometimes a little bit much, especially I have only oranges and apples here. Sometimes I used a pear in addition to that. Makes it sweeter. So when you don't have a pear, maybe the one lemon is too much. So half a lemon, or 3/4, and I used half of the peel. So let's say what happens now. So the color is nice, and when you add greens to beets, it gets darker. Nice color like this, Bordeaux color. That's crimson. It's a nice color. Texture is nice because the pear would have made it thicker. There's no pear, and the beet was crisp. That makes it runnier. So I have a nice runny juice, a nice color, and let's see what it tastes like. So two things. The lemon zest, half a lemon zest was a good idea. It balances the sour flavor a little bit, as I had a little bit more than half a lemon, and it is a little bit sour. I can taste that. I was right. I should have only put half a lemon in. I put 3/4. So there's a little bit of sour. So that's why I already thought about that. I will add one more apple, one more orange, and I come back in a moment and show you how to do that. So here, an apple and orange. Let's see if I can balance the sour flavor of that juice from the lemon, excess lemon, a little bit. Quickly peel the orange and just cut down from the sides, top and bottom, and then the sides. It's very simple, quickly done. The peel of the lemon would be really too strong. I tried that, it's too much. Lemon peel is already enough. And the apple, I quarter it, cut the top and the bottom off where the dirt is from the tree, and then I quarter it again. Halve it again, the quarters. So very simple. And you can use the seeds if the core is healthy. This is a healthy core. You see the seeds are dark, that means it's ripe. You can use the seeds easily. So quickly juice it, let's see what happens. Very quickly. So let's see what happens now. I quickly made some changes, add some more fruit, that means usually more sugar to balance the sour flavor. Let's see. Quickly stir everything because everything has to be combined evenly, then the flavor is, I can see what flavor it is, I can taste it. There we go. Yeah, that's it. Just some fruit and you can balance the extra lemon. So half a lemon, I would say, with the same measurements, 2 cups of fruit each, apple and orange. And then you get along with half a lemon and half a peel, have a nice juice. And the main flavors here, adding to the beet, is the basil and the mint. And they're very strong flavors and they really make it nice. I've tasted it again to look at that, because sour wasn't on my mind first. I didn't really pay attention to the mint and the basil, this main story here, to get that right. So I first have to get the sour right, and now let's taste one more time for the mint and the basil. Yeah. Well, very gentle, very nice. They have a strong flavor, but they are not like, oh, that's a mint juice or basil juice. No, they are merging into one new flavor. They actually create a new flavor together with the beet. So the beet usually has an earth flavor, but it's not like that today. The beet doesn't taste like earth, which can be nice. But the basil and the mint, they reshape it. They make it. It's nice. You gotta try it. It's very nice. It's very refreshing, powerful, and tasty juice with a very expressive flavor. The mint basil in one new flavor. Very nice, very nice. Have a look what it looks like here. You see. Beet juice in general is good for performance. If you make a workout, for example, do a workout, and like 2 hours or so ahead of time you eat or drink beets, then you have more endurance. So there's something in the beet. I could go into detail now, doesn't matter, but that's scientifically proven. Beet is really something for performance, gives you energy, strength. It's a good juice for a fasting day, which is today to me. I have a juice fasting day, gentle juice fasting, that is once a week. And on that fasting day, usually one reduces the calories. So the body begins to have less calories than usual. And that's why it changes to an emergency mode, so to say. He gets energy then in a different way. He begins to burn ketones. Ketones are small molecules that are very effective when they burn. Very effective fuel. Normally the body burns sugar, as in food sugar. It burns the glucose and then you get energy. But the glucose, the molecules are larger and they are less effective. So when you have less energy, the body switches to the ketosis and then it burns ketones instead. So that's a smart way for the body to react, and it cleanses itself. It reduces the toxins from the body. The fat is burned. Additional fat is burned that is stored to save the energy. And so the body cleanses out. And also what I do is I reduce the fiber. When I juice, what comes out of the juicer is the fiber. That's what's not digested in the body. On a regular day, the fiber is the most healthiest, one of the healthiest parts of the food, because the intestines, the bacteria in the intestines, they separate the fiber from the nutrients. The nutrients are absorbed and the fiber goes away. Elimination. And that process, the digestion, is so important for our immune system. So the healthy gut bacteria is so important. And on a fasting day, take the fiber out, and only the nutrients, the liquids and the nutrients go into the body. So that means I have no digestion. Basically. Yeah. So digestion is paused, like at night. That means the body restores itself. Tissues are restored, the brain detoxifies, memories are restored, and that is a very strong cleansing process also. So rebooting the system, we call it. In the morning, after fasting, like in every morning after the night, we break the fast. We have a breakfast. In some languages are reflected in the word breakfast. Not in all languages, but in the English language there is it breakfast. In German, not so much. Frühstück, early piece, that is something that has nothing to do with breaking the fast. But in some languages it is reflected. And so that's what happens on a fasting day. It's a long night, to say. But I'm awake, and I cleanse my body. I restore the tissues that have to be restored. Memories are recreated, and get a better memory. Cleanse out the mind too. That's what happens on a fasting day. And I do that once a week. And the best thing for me is doing it gentle, in a gentle way. We call it gentle juice fasting. That means only one day, usually. That's first, because one day is pretty harmless. Almost everybody can do one day. Unless you are on medication, then you should see a medical professional, health professional to supervise it, because it can even on one day, fasting can do harm. Kidneys, for example, when they have to eliminate what the kidneys do, the toxins from the body, we don't need anymore. They can be overwhelmed on a fasting day because more toxins are there. And if you don't drink enough, for example, then they can be stressed and they can be harmful. So even on a one day, you could have harm yourself even without noticing it. So better to see a doctor. Or if you're on medication can change by fasting. It can change the measurements, the dosage, and that can be dangerous. If you have medication, you need a certain dosage, you fast, the dosage changes by what happens in the body. So all these things are important to observe when you have these kind of things. Ask a doctor if fasting is good for you. Otherwise, when you are feeling great, one day is no problem. Yeah. And you drink enough. I mean, I drink 4 liters water in the first place, then juice, coffee, tea, plant milk, veggie broth, whatever. All these things I can drink and feel great. And I have 4 liters I found, I feel great. When I get dizzy, for example, it's not good. Headache, not good. What I do, I eat something. I slow down the fasting, I slow down the cleansing. I eat more fiber to slow down the fasting process. That's why we call it gentle. That's most important, to feel great on a fasting day, to feel delighted. And the juices are such a nice way to feel delighted because they are delicious if you make them right. It's not very difficult. I try to show you some easy ways to balancing the fruit and the veggie parts. The veggies have different kinds of nutrients, the fruit have more sugar and colors, and so you balance that a little bit, the bitter flavors and the sweet flavors, sour flavors, you balance that and you have a nice delicious juice. It's not so difficult, just 1-to-1 ratio, veggie and fruit, so you get along. And herbs, very powerful nutrients, flavors, so you make it shape the flavors a little bit more and get the benefits of these wonderful herbs. So these kind of things are very easy to make. Just begins easy with a small number of ingredients, and then you find an easy juice recipe. So that's what I do on a fasting day, and I'm happy because these fasting days, they save a lot of time in the kitchen. I don't have to make my food, just the juice. I drink a lot of water, it's easy, I feel light, the body feels really light, and the senses are more alert, because when you have to digest food on a regular day, then 10% of the energy goes into the digestion. And on a fasting day, I don't need to do that. I don't have virtually no digestion. So all the energy goes into the senses. I feel more deeply, more intensely. I can feel what these juices do, what these nutrients do. But I have to say, on a regular day, I eat all these fibers, because a healthy diet would be whole food, plant-based diet. Whole food means with the fiber. And fasting day is an exception kind of that. But because also in the fiber, there's a lot of nutrients that are important. The polyphenols, for example, colors, fragrances, and so flavors. Polyphenols are a very important kind of nutrient that is linked. Many of them are linked to the fiber. If you take out the fiber, take away the polyphenols too. Recent studies show that. So, not be mistaken, juicing reduces certain kinds of important nutrients. We would not do that on a regular day for a regular meal. I also enjoy juices on a regular day, when I eat, but just for a snack, for a refreshment, just for fun. Of course, juice is also very expensive because you give away a big part of the plant and that otherwise could be eaten. So it is a lot of energy and produce in the juice. It's an essence of the fruit. So that's more expensive. So when you do that, it is something like a luxury on a regular day. Sometimes I do that, make a juice for a friend, comes by, make a fresh juice. Oh, everyone likes that, right? But it's not so much for a whole meal. A whole meal needs a whole food. All the parts of the plants that you can eat should be in the food. Then you have a healthy diet. But on a fasting day, as I said, is a little bit of an exception because the metabolism changes. It's not about the nutrients, it's about reduction, reducing calories in the first place, and cleansing out and slowing down digestion and restoring the tissues and the memories and rebooting the system. Like a long night. That's a fasting day. To me, there's a lot of text about it, a lot of discussion. I try to make it simple and so share with you my experience, that's all. Thanks for watching. I hope you enjoy. If you like my video, subscribe, MD Vegan on YouTube. Have another recipe every single day. And find me on Facebook, Instagram, Pinterest, and X. And there is a Facebook page called Tree Yoga Moon Fasting. The gentle juice fasting comes from Tree Yoga. That's my yoga style, from Yogini Kalaji. Another story. But that Facebook page, Tree Yoga Moon Fasting, has all the juice recipes and the fasting calendar for the best fasting days and whatnot. See you soon.